It is Wednesday, and you know what that means. Episode 2 of the DPad Wrestling YouTube channel is here. Welcome, everyone. I am Matt Fischioni. I know it has been a very long time since I posted, it's been a while since I posted episode 1, and a lot of stuff, has been happening in the wrestling world that I missed out on. Just wanted to clarify that there is a lot of stuff, that has been happening, for myself and also with Rick as well. But we are back here, and, joining me today is actually a really special guest. Joining me, making his DPad Wrestling debut, is my good friend from college, Mark Bassler. Mark, go ahead and tell the DPad Nation all about yourself.
Thank you very much, Matt. Well, thank you. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here for a DPad Wrestling show. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mark Bassler. I have been, or you can call me MFB. That is my new nickname that I like to be called now. I used to be called, Bassler or Barbarian or that stuff.
Or Bass.
Or Bats, yeah, sure. But now I've made my new nickname called MFB. Those are actually my initials, so thought it'd be kind of cool. But anyway, besides that, I have been pretty much a wrestling fan since, honestly, since I was 18. So it hasn't been that long, so I haven't really... we've heard a lot of people say, oh, I've watched wrestling since I was 5, or I've watched wrestling since I was 9. Oh, I love Colt Cabana. I've seen John Cena. I've seen those guys when I was only 7 or 8. But no, I started watching wrestling when I was like around 18. So I'm pretty I'm still a little new to all of this stuff, but I'm basically getting the hang of all different kinds of wrestling shows. So it's a lot of fun, I'm telling you.
Mark, I will have to say that's a really, really cool nickname that you have, but you got to be careful because, a certain doctor, that also goes by DMD just might sneak up behind you and, just might knock you out for stealing that nickname. So
I don't want to go after my pearly whites. I'm perfectly fine with that.
So, Mark, being the fact that you've been a wrestling fan for so long, I have to ask, the most important question that there is. Who would you have to say is your favorite wrestler and why?
I mean, that's a really hard one. It's hard because, watching WWE and AEW for quite some time now, what I can say is that my favorite WWE superstar would have to be Finn Balor. Because I'll talk about him because he started out. I think he started out back in New Japan Pro Wrestling, which is also a very successful company, and then he made his debut back in 2015 or 16. I don't remember when, but he made his debut back in NXT, and he's been up the main roster for WWE, and he's been an amazing character. All sorts of the extraordinary man who could do extraordinary things. And the fact that he's an Irish wrestler, which is actually pretty cool because I'm actually more I think I'm 75% Irish myself. So the fact that I can see a wrestler of my own kind wrestling out there is pretty cool. But as for AEW, it used to be three wrestlers that used to be one of my favorites, but I think 2 of my favorites right now are Darby Allin and Chris Jericho. I don't really have a favorite wrestler overall, but those 3 that I listed would have to be one of my favorites so far. I wish I had an answer for you, but those are my favorites.
Hey, they're all really, really good answers. All 3 men are, incredible wrestlers, have done some amazing work, and we are going to be breaking down, a show that happened this past weekend, and that show happened to be WWE Clash at the Castle. This is the first show that has taken place in Europe in over 30 years, and I'd have to say it definitely exceeded our expectations. I would say when you look at the card one by one. And if you saw how the show played out, what each match was presented to the audience, I would have to say that this was easily the best show in 2022 for WWE. I feel like Triple H, ever since taking over, creative control over, the company, he has done an amazing job. And I feel like this is the beginning of, kind of like the beginning of something new for WWE. Just kind of feels reminiscent of what it used to be. And, being the fact that Vince McMahon and the man that he is just completely destroyed everything, that we loved, not only with that company, but what we want to see in professional wrestling, has brought our love back to life with that company. And I feel like, Mark, this show was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I agree. Honestly, I was watching it. I'm here in my wonderful New Hampshire lake house here in New Hampshire, Lake Winnipesaukee, and I was watching it. Yeah, a couple nights ago. I'm actually no, it was a couple days ago during the daytime, because obviously they're in the UK and we're here in the USA, and there's a big time difference. So for them, they started their show like at 7 p.m. or 6 p.m. where they are in the UK, but the show aired at 1 p.m. Here in the United States. And so I was basically just sitting inside while it was a beautiful sunny day out. I could have been outside enjoying the beautiful weather, but nope, I had to sit down and stay in my room and watch Clash at the Castle, because yeah, honestly, I'm gonna agree with you. Ever since Triple H took over for head of creativity and everything, he really knows how to book wrestlers, and knows what to do with them and how to put them in good storylines and put them in good rivalries. And not only that, he was also been bringing back a lot of wrestlers who have been fired from the company or have asked for their release because of, most likely, obviously, Vince and the differences they have with him. But I would think that they wouldn't really have a problem with Triple H, because I'm pretty sure a lot of the talent that are still there and the ones that are coming back have always had a good relationship with Hunter. So the fact that he was able to run this show and run a pay-per-view like that and give us actually like good matches, that's really saying something, that WWE is getting views again, is getting higher views than it was before, ever since Vince was in charge. And it makes people want to watch WWE again. It makes WWE watchable again.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very satisfied with the show, no matter what the results were. I say that it was a pretty dominant show.
Yeah, I'd say I would give Triple H a year for him being the head of creative, because again, this has only been like a couple weeks to like a month, since he got promoted to like head of creative. And so I think for me, as someone who has stopped watching WWE for quite some time, it's going to take a while for me to get used to. But honestly, what I saw at Clash at the Castle was something that kind of reminisced, personally for me, when I started watching WWE, and how it was really watchable for me. And I would say that I was thoroughly, enjoyed by everything that I saw. And we're going to talk about our top 3 matches, our personal top 3 matches for Clash of the Castle. But before we do, a couple things. Number one, if you have missed episode 1 of DPad Wrestling, it is live on the channel right now. On that show, Rick and I discussed WrestleMania and how we dove deep into some of our best and worst moments on the show, which matches we liked and did not like. And plus, we also talked about what is our favorite WrestleMania shows that we have watched. So if you missed that, go check out on the channel. And secondly, DPad Wrestling is on Instagram. If you go to the link in the description box down below, you could Claymore kick that follow button for any news, rumors, and upcoming videos over there. So don't forget to click on the description box down below for DPad Wrestling on Instagram. So with that being said, Mark, let's get started here with our top 3 matches of Clash of the Castle. I'm going to have you start off here since you're our guest. What would have to be number 3 at your list?
I'm gonna have to say Sheamus versus
Mm-hmm.
Gunther, or
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to pronounce his
Yeah,
name,
you got it.
but
It's Gunther. Really, really
Gunther.
stupid name change. She should have stuck with Walter. Like
Yeah,
it was much
yeah,
more fitting. But Gunther.
yeah.
Hopefully.
Triple H,
Yeah.
you please change his name to Walter again,
Yeah.
because if you're listening to this, we're begging you, please change his name.
Yeah.
But yeah, for Sheamus versus Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship, and I'll tell you why. It's because I don't think Sheamus has even held the Intercontinental title. I
He
don't
hasn't.
think so. This would have been a perfect opportunity for Sheamus to win the title, because look, he's been in the industry for so long. He's been a part of WWE for many, many years, and not once has he ever earned or received a a chance for the Intercontinental title, or has ever won the title.
Mm-hmm.
And if he would have won the title, he would have literally been almost literally a Grand Slam champion. But no, I think the match was very well delivered. Both superstars gave it their all. The crowd of the UK was amazing. Let me start by saying the crowd in the UK
Oh
was
my God.
absolutely amazing, because they were on their feet, they were
Unbelievable.
cheering, they were chanting, they were nonstop like support and love. Like that's true professional wrestling fans right there. And the fact that these two were so well done and gave it all that they had, I'd say I would hope that Sheamus and Gunther would have another title chance for maybe another pay-per-view, or maybe down the road, because those two really delivered. So that's number 3 for me.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah. I personally agree with you. I think that for me, it would have to be. See, I'm debating between 2 matches, but you know what? I think for this one, I'm going to have to go with Seth Rollins versus Matt Riddle. The feud that both Rollins and Riddle has had over the past couple months has been one of the best things going on with the company right
Oh my
now. I feel like Randy Orton being injured is horrible in itself, and I really hope that he comes back soon. But I think when you really think about it, it was kind of like a blessing in disguise almost. Because I feel like if Randy Orton still would have been with the company, RK Bro most likely would have been tag team champions still. Randy Orton would have, like still would have contended for the universal title or whatever, and they would just be a tag team, and I think Riddle would have still been Orton's tag team partner, not really doing anything much else. That being said, Matt Riddle has been absolutely awesome throughout this entire feud with Seth Rollins. I think the one thing I'm starting to pick up with Seth Rollins is that he doesn't have to win matches, but he just has to make the person that he's feuding with look good. Especially if he's a young guy, especially if he's new to the roster. We've seen him do that with Cody in the 3 matches that they've had, and Seth Rollins has made Cody look like an absolute superstar, and he will be an even bigger, a bigger star once he comes back. And I think he made Matt Riddle a legit guy, and I believe that their match at Clash of the Castle was absolutely spectacular. I think that Seth Rollins' outfit, the Ellen John inspired outfit, was just absolutely amazing, and it fits perfectly with the crowd considering the fact that Ellen John, is from the UK. And it was a really great one-on-one match here, and there was just so many, great moments. I think the one that really stuck out to me was where, had to be at the end where Seth Rollins delivered a curb stomp to Riddle as Riddle was making his way to the ring, and then he went on the second rope to do like a jumping curb stomp. I was like, holy shit, that was just awesome. And the right man won, Rollins won. It was just a tremendous match, and I think both of those guys really stood out. And I think this is kind of a foreshadow of what is next to come for Seth Rollins. I think that once Roman Reigns drops the title to Cody. I think it's gonna happen to Cody. Only then where I think that Seth Rollins is going to be our next WWE or Universal Champion, and I think that it is going to be amazing, really, because I feel like he has been one of their top guys in that company. He, no matter what gimmick he's under, no matter who he's feuding with or who he's paired, he just works completely well, as a wrestler. And I feel like for him to be, in a way, carrying the company on his back for so long, I feel like he should be rewarded for it, honestly. It was a tremendous match. And I do think that this feud is not over yet. I do think that they will continue out throughout Survivor Series, really. And I feel like it's only a matter of time for Seth Rollins to actually contend for either the WWE or the Universal Champion, but that is after, that's after Roman drops the title to either Cody, or my prediction would be The Rock, which I think would be absolutely fitting. But moving on to our second best match of the card, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say what you brought up earlier. That was Gunther versus Sheamus for the Intercontinental title. Being the fact that Sheamus is from Ireland and Gunther is from the UK, clearly made a lot of sense to put these guys together on this card. And the crowd, like you said, was absolutely fire throughout the entire show, not just this match, but for the entire show. I feel like that crowd made the whole experience absolutely better. And this was a toe-to-toe bout between two heavyweights, and I was very much pleased with how they were able to pull off this match, even though they were pound to pound, brawlers, and just were just they just worked well together. I'm not sure if this is the first time that they wrestled each other one on one, but if it was, I really hope we get many more to come, man, because it was just absolutely amazing. I was on the same boat as you, where I also wanted Sheamus to win the Intercontinental title because it's the only one that he's, never held on to. And I felt like, being that they were in that specific crowd, we were going to get a new champion, but that really wasn't much the case. Being the fact that Walter is obviously the bigger man, that clearly played an effect on how Sheamus moved, more notably towards the end of the match, where he was going to go for a broad kick, but then Gunther decided to end it off with a huge lariat. Holy crap. It was I could hear the sound of it. It was just absolutely chills, And so
Wow.
he ended up pinning Sheamus for the 1-2-3. He retained, and the crowd gave Sheamus a standing ovation. It was really a beautiful sight. Sheamus, one of the most underrated, performers in that company by far. It's just really amazing that he's getting the respect and the TV time that he really does deserve. And I really hope that before he ends his career, I really do hope that he wins the Intercontinental Champion and ends his career by becoming, a Grand Slam champion.
Yeah, I agree because Sheamus, like you said, is a very underrated character. He's been absolutely amazing so far with the WWE and with his singles career and everything. Just trying to look the best that he can after all these years. Ever since back then when he was teaming with Cesaro back in 2016 or 17 and 18, of all those years. Yep. Ever since that team split up, he was just doing the best he can to entertain the crowd. And I like what you said that I forgot to mention when I was talking about that match is that Sheamus literally got a standing ovation from over 60,000 WWE fans in the stadium. That to me shows. I don't know if this is actually going to happen or not, but that kind of shows to me that there might be a sign of a babyface turn for Sheamus because he was obviously I believe that he would have been like the better man in that match, but obviously Gunther retained. But to me, he was honestly like the better man in that, in my opinion, because he seemed to play more of a babyface character, and Gunther was more of the heel character.
Mhm.
So I don't know what this leads for Sheamus in the future. I don't know what he's going to do next, but whatever I do. But yeah, I do hope that those two get in the ring again together. Maybe they'll have another rematch, or maybe they'll excuse me, maybe they'll have one down the road again soon. You never know.
Yeah.
But moving on to my second match, number two of Clash of the Castle. Surprisingly, everyone says that oh, this was the match of the night. Oh, this was the match. Oh yeah, he should have won that one. My number two would have to be Drew McIntyre versus Roman
Knew
Reigns
it. I
for
knew
the
it.
undisputed WWE Universal title, and I'll explain why. There's a lot of reasons. Actually, no, I'm not going to go this. I'm just going to go rambling on here. To me, in my opinion, because I know that you said that you want either Cody or The Rock to either Cody or The Rock to take the titles off of Roman, and I think those are amazing. Those would be amazing wrestlers to take it off him. But I truly believed for a fact, I thought it was actually going to happen. I wanted Drew McIntyre to take those titles off of Roman. I thought he was literally going to be the one because let's be honest, he had his WWE championship reign during the pandemic back in like 2020, and he did have a very good reign, even though it didn't really last like a whole lot long. He didn't really have that many mat defend title defenses
It was
while he was the champion,
I
and not to mention that he wasn't he never got to defend it in front of a live crowd before. This would have been his chance to win. And also another thing, there were all these like ads going on saying like how many spears is Roman gonna do, how many Claymore kicks is Drew gonna do, and although I didn't like attend in any of them, I was gonna predict that I forgot how many spears Roman did, but I was mainly more focused on Drew. I was thinking that he was gonna do 3 Claymore kicks, and lo and behold, he did 3 Claymore kicks, one to Roman's back to knock out the referee. Also, here's another thing. Why is it that every time when Drew and Roman get into the ring and Drew has to deliver a Claymore kick, that a ref has to get knocked out? This already happened once. This
yeah.
had to happen again.
Yeah. It
And,
almost
and
feels
he
like
claimed,
it almost feels like reminiscent to like Roman Reigns facing like Brock Lesnar, where like what was it, WrestleMania 34, I believe it was. It was like in New Orleans, and they just like the whole match was like clustered with like finishers. We got like 7 F5s, 5 to 6 spears, and the match had lasted like 10 minutes. I mean, like it was just absolutely it was absolutely ridiculous. But I'd say compared to what we saw like this past weekend, it was nothing. It was nothing. What happened between
you know,
Roman and Brock.
yeah, because like at least this particular match. What I was saying is that he delivered a second Claymore kick and then a third Claymore kick, which I thought would have like won the title. But I'll get to that in a second. But the fact that these two like literally went on for probably it was definitely over 10 minutes for sure, and these two literally gave it everything they got. And I was literally hoping for it because I haven't listened to this theme song in quite a while. I never really listened to it that much, but now that I heard it, I'm literally starting to get used to it. And it's actually a lot of really good song to listen to. But Drew McIntyre brought back, in a way, his broken dream. When I heard that, I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna bring it out. He's gonna bring it out. And then I hear the shing, and I'm like, ah, damn it. But at least he did bring back the theme song. In a way, I'm satisfied with that because at least he brought it back. Because I was actually on TikTok and I was seeing a video on WWE's TikTok video where Drew was like training and like smashing wood or something with like an axe. I don't know what it was, but I heard the Broken Dreams theme song in the back, and then I was thinking like, no way, he has to bring it back. Like if he uses this theme song like as his entrance, he needs to win for sure. But of course, Roman always can't seem to work alone. He always has to have someone or a bloodline to help him cheat to win. And lo and behold, we have yet another bloodline family
I
member.
love it.
Solos.
I love
Solos.
it.
Oh my!
I
He
love
was.
it. He's my favorite. I'd say he was my
Uh,
favorite standout in NXT. I feel like he was one of those guys where I kept a very close eye on, and I just knew right away as soon as I found out that like he was the younger brother of the Usos, I'm like, watch this guy be the next member of the bloodline. And it was rumored for weeks that there was going to be another member be added to the
yeah.
bloodline, and lo and behold,
I was
it
really
was
it
Solo.
wouldn't happen,
I
but
was I was very happy with him coming into the aid of Roman Reigns, because obviously it makes sense, but also when you really think about it, it kind of sets up for, the fact that the bloodline is, going to become a lot stronger, especially when you have a very over baby's face, let's say like Cody Rhodes, or even like Johnny Gargano, or hell, if you want to feud with The Rock for next year's WrestleMania, we got the bloodline, which is all Samoan based, to an over babyface who is also Samoan too. It's like
that is true.
makes up for, some good stuff here. So, but yeah.
Yeah, who knows what's gonna happen? But honestly, for me, like as you can tell, during the whole match, they were chanting like, "Oh, Drew McIntyre, oh, Drew Mc," and I was literally singing that song. Like I was literally singing along with them while I was watching it. Like I was on my feet, like listening to it. I haven't like eaten or drinking anything because I was watching that match, and I got so lightheaded after the match. But I've the bloodline have been a thing for like so long, and Roman Reigns has had 2 years of his title reign, and honestly, I thought it was literally time for him to finally like drop the titles, because he doesn't show up to that many pay-per-views anymore. He's not showing up to like that many things. So like, why bother having him still have the titles if you're not going to be showing up to that many pay-per-views?
Yeah.
And like that's not what a true champion does. That's why I wanted Drew McIntyre so badly to win the title, and I seriously thought he was going to win. I was going to rub it in all your faces, saying like, "Yep, I told you he was going to win. I told you he was going to win."
Right.
But no, it was delivered, and it got a really negative review from a lot of articles on social media, and people were really angry that Drew didn't win the titles. Like I was surprised on how many hating there was, that because like all the reaction videos that I was seeing, they were like so angry that Roman had to add another member to the bloodline, and I'm like, great, now the bloodline is probably going to be a thing for another year or two, and I'm like, fuck this, there has to be a change.
Right.
It was a very amazing match. It got my heart racing a lot, but Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns characters were perfect for this main event. And I know it's number 2, but it was one of the best matches I've seen in a while.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you, and it's very very funny that you should say, funny you should talk about Roman and Drew McIntyre, because I actually have that as my number 1 match. They definitely performed a better match this time than the first time that they wrestled in Survivor Series. I definitely felt like Drew was obviously the fan favorite here to win the title, and of course you have Roman Reigns, who obviously is the guy that nobody wanted to walk out as champion, and they put out. They put out a very very good match, and I feel like, I was also really disappointed when Broken Dreams was played for like the first portion of his entrance, because because a lot of people, including myself, a lot of people feel that Broken Dreams is a much better theme song than the one that Drew has right now, which it is. I mean, it's absolutely badass, and I feel like
Oh,
it's the kind of song where I feel like if you go to a venue that holds a large amount of people, you're gonna hear a lot of like sing-alongs through that crowd. It's like that type of song where the crowd can just sing along to, and I feel like I'm very happy that they brought it back, but it was definitely a missed opportunity for him to return it as his full-fledged theme song. I'm hoping that still happens in the future, but knowing Drew, he said that it doesn't fit the character that he has anymore. So we'll
yeah.
just see what happens.
That I can agree on, because like I do agree, when Drew was actually asked this question, like, will you bring back the Broken Dreams theme song? Will you do that? And he said that, it doesn't really fit his character and it's a little too slow for his entrance and everything. And I kind of agree. I kind of agree with that. I do think it is a little bit slow. Like it's like slowly starts out at first, but then the beat goes on like in like the middle of the theme song. And just the current theme song that Drew has fits better for his character, in my opinion, and I think it works better for him. Not saying that it's like a better like theme song overall. I do think Broken Dreams is an amazing theme song. I just think that I think his current theme song is like Guillotine. I think that's what it is. But um, the one that he's using right now for his character is better, in my personal opinion. But I still love Broken Dreams. It was still an amazing theme song. And you were right when you said that um, when you have a big venue like this, the crowd is going to be singing along like to like the songs. Because like when I was watching videos of people recording that entrance, that moment of Broken Dreams on their phones, like I could hear the whole crowd like singing that song. And I'm like, wow, they really know how to show. Like I said, there are true wrestling fans out there. Like they chant, they sing, they cheer, they get up on off their asses, and they cheer, they boo, they do whatever.
Yeah.
But one other thing that did surprise me is that I don't know how this is really gonna play out for him. But Austin Theory tried to cash in
I
his
was
Money in the Bank
literally
contract,
I
and
was literally going to say probably probably the best part of that match did not involve Reigns or Drew. It was Austin Theory attempting to cash in, and then out of nowhere you had Tyson Fury like literally punched the shit out of Theory, just laying him out. It was just I literally laughed my ass off when that happened. It was just an amazing moment, and it's like it's so funny. Austin Theory is starting to become almost like a punching bag. Like every time he tries to cash in, like some shit happens to him. He gets knocked out.
I think this is gonna be a thing now. Like he's gonna cash in like so many times while Reigns the character,
Watch,
but there's always gonna be a problem.
watch.
Like he's gonna trip over a rope, he's gonna knock his own head out. Someone from the crowd is gonna kidnap him, or
Yeah,
Dexter Loomis will kidnap him, or something bad will just happen to him every time he tries to cash in.
that's gonna happen every time Roman's gonna defend the title, and I'm just all in for it. This match between Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns was absolutely amazing, and in my mind, it was personally the best match at Clash of the Castle. So, Mark, why don't you end this video by revealing your number one match?
Yeah, so yeah, like I said, Drew McIntyre and Roman had one of the greatest matches. Like it was a perfect main event for sure. I will say for a fact. But I will reveal my number one match of the night, which I literally could not keep my eyes off of the screen during this whole match. And of course, I'm pretty sure everyone watching, and I'm sure you already kind of have a guess of what it is. It is Seth Rollins versus Matt Riddle. That's
Hey.
honestly my favorite match of the night. And going back to what you said earlier about the crowd like chanting and like singing the song, they literally could not stop singing Seth Rollins' theme song, like literally
Oh, it's
they
such
could
a great
not
theme song.
sing it through the whole entire match, which was awesome, by the way. But um the way, and like what we said before, like Seth Rollins really knows how to get other wrestlers like over, like from what they were before. Like, I do kind of wish that I do wish that Matt Riddle could have won that match. I was hoping he would win, but in my heart, I was thinking I think Seth Rollins is gonna win because there's no way this can be the only match. This has to be like a feud like going on like for maybe one more match in the next pay per view, and maybe hopefully Matt Riddle can win to like end the feud. Because let's also not forget Seth Rollins has had quite a bit of bad luck for these past many months with a lot of losses lately. So he hasn't won like a single match in quite some time. So I think it was the right decision to give Seth Rollins this win for now, because it really is showing that it's increasing Matt Riddle's character, and he's going to get better and better because Matt Riddle is doing a whole lot better than what he used to be before. And even when eventually Randy Orton comes back and they become RK Bro again, there's no doubt in my mind that Matt Riddle will still be one of the best guys out there, and he's going to show Randy how much he's learned and how much he's been going on. The fact that this rivalry was so good, it's so personal. When I was watching Raw and they were doing that, like what you and I are doing, like the camera to camera interview, and they were insulting each other, and then they brought up like Matt Riddle said like, I'm gonna show you the one man in your marriage, and that's Becky, bro. And I was like, holy shit, that
Yep,
shots were
yep.
fired. Once the cameras cut off, Seth Rollins was like, let's talk about your family. Oh yeah, you don't got one because your wife divorced you and took your kids. They don't want to see your bitch ass anymore.
That
And I'm
that
like,
was
holy
that was see
shit.
that was the moment where I'm like,
That was
this is
we
feud
was
of the
back.
year for WWE easily, easily.
WWE is back. Literally, they cut fire promos like that, and then you just let them be themselves. But also knowing the fact that during a couple backstage interviews, that Seth Rollins never actually wanted to work with Matt Riddle due to like the real life heat that they had back at the time. When I think it had to do with like Matt Riddle's like ex-wife like body shaming Becky
Right.
Lynch, and
Yeah.
obviously Seth didn't take too kindly to that, and so they never really had any connection. He said they don't hang out backstage, they don't they don't get a drink together, they don't any. And the fact that Seth didn't really want to work with him, considering that they had like real life heat. And ever since that promo, I was like, wait, was that part of the script, or did he actually like mean that? Did he actually like mean that and go off script?
Hmm.
And was Matt Riddle like truly pissed off at like pissed off at Seth and wanted to literally like beat him up, like not as a character but in real life, due to the heat that they had? But it made this rivalry like so perfect and so amazing that they delivered. Matt Riddle was literally going all out on no pun intended with all out, but Matt Riddle was literally going all out on Seth Rollins like during that match. And it was, both of these guys are phenomenal wrestlers. And I was actually kind of hoping that Randy Orton would come out, make his official return, and distract Seth Rollins and give Riddle the win. But I do think that that could happen maybe at the next pay per view if they have another match together, and that should be a great way to have Randy Orton's return from injury. But we'll see what happens. But I would like to see. I definitely want to see Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle go at it again. But again, like I said, who knows, because of their real life. I don't know what their current situation is now. I don't know what Seth Rollins is going to say if Hunter or the writer is saying like, oh yeah, you have to work with Riddle again. I don't know how that's going to go, but I'm all here for it. It's what happens when you let your talents like do whatever they want, say whatever they want. They cut fire promos like that
Yeah.
one. I'm telling you.
Yeah. And I think it comes to show how much work Triple H has done with the company ever since he took creative control. I definitely feel like the wrestlers are cutting better promos. They're getting, to me, they're getting more TV time, and they're putting out much longer matches.
Adam Pierce had a big, big like pipe bomb to Ronda Rousey, and I was like, geez, they're literally letting all these
Yeah,
wrestlers, like all these people, like deliver pipe bombs or deliver fire promos.
yeah,
Like these guys literally, they're literally letting off all the steam that they can have, and Triple H is definitely the right guy to do
yeah.
it.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And although we already went over our top three matches, one particular moment in the show that I think we didn't mention, but I feel like it is worthy to talk about here before
Right?
we end this episode. And I think you know what I'm talking about. DPad
Oh, I
Nation
know.
knows what we're going to talk about, and that is the long awaited heel turn from Dominic Mysterio. It was after the match between the Judgment Day versus Edge and Rey Mysterio. It was also a really great match to watch on the
Oh yeah.
show. Edge and Mysterio won the match, and right after, it was teased, within the coming, within months, that Dominic was going to turn heel. We just have no idea when. And a lot of people are saying that he might join the Judgment Day. We didn't know when, but it wasn't until he gave a low blow to Edge and literally unleashing his inner Eddie Guerrero, gave a choke slam to his own father. Like when I saw the Dominic clothesline Rey Mysterio, it gave me major Eddie Guerrero vibes, because if you look back in 2005, Eddie Guerrero turned heel against Mysterio, and he also clotheslined him the same exact way that Dominic did. It was absolutely amazing to see. This is going to help Dominic Mysterio so much in his progression to actually becoming a professional wrestler. And I do feel like we are eventually going to get a feud between Dominic and Ray, most likely going to
Hmm.
happen at Survivor Series. I think personally for me, I think it would be worthy enough to actually have that match at WrestleMania, because that way it would be father
Um,
versus son, grandest stage of them all.
he should be doing like way better on his own, like just doing his own thing as a heel, and maybe have some sort of alliance with the Judgment Day. But I honestly think, like, this personal rivalry, like one on one with like no Judgment Day and no Edge, Ray versus Dominic would be an incredible match. And who knows, there could be like future feuds for Dominic whenever the feud with Ray is done, or feud with Edge even possibly. But like there's a lot of good wrestlers that Dom can really go toe to toe with, even though he's still kind of new, with WWE. He still has a lot to learn. He hasn't won like a singles title, even though he did win the the SmackDown tag team titles with Ray. Um, which is also the first father and son tag team titles, which honestly was one of my favorite moments in a while, which I thought was amazing. But now that Dom has turned heel and really showing Eddie Guerrero vibes, I will not be surprised if Dominic cuts a promo on Ray saying like, Papa, I wish I wasn't your son. I wish I was Eddie Guerrero's son instead. And everyone's like,
That
oh,
that would
and
be
like a huge like
that would
gasp
be
from the crowd. I am
awesome.
ready to hear that from him, because like the way he kind of like looks like Eddie Guerrero, and the clothesline was literally giving Eddie Guerrero vibes. I actually, for the first moment when I saw Dominic deliver the clothesline to Ray, for some reason I didn't get Eddie vibes. I was getting like Damian Priest vibes, because like Damian Priest always delivers like strong clotheslines to his opponents, like the same way way Damian Priest delivered a clothesline to Edge when they betrayed Edge and they kicked him out of the Judgment Day. So I was kind of getting that's something from Damian Priest, but I can definitely. But now that you said Eddie Guerrero turned on Ray the same exact way, I can definitely see that. But
Yeah.
um, it's honestly an amazing moment. That was literally like one of again, like it was a great match. Not gonna lie, I was hoping for it happened the way exactly as I wanted it. Ray and Edge to win against the Judgment Day and give them a win, because the Judgment Day has been dominating the Mysterios and Edge lately, so it was kind of good to like give them the win, and then Dominic turn his back on his own father.
Yeah. No,
So
listen.
it was loved it.
Yeah, no, listen. That moment was absolutely amazing, and just like that match, all the matches on the card was absolutely amazing. We chose our personal favorites, which, by the way, were the same matches, but in particular in different order. I was very surprised by that, So, but hey, at least you and I see eye to eye, which is, it was honestly good enough. But I will say, before we end the video, Clash of the Castle was absolutely amazing, and I feel like this is a step in the right direction for WWE. I feel like going into Survivor Series, which is going to take place in your home state of Boston, Massachusetts, I feel like it's going to build up Survivor Series into what is going to be another monumental show for the company. And if you missed Clash of the Castle, it is streaming on Peacock, I believe. And I think that it is worthy of your watch. Every match that we covered, from Roman versus Drew, Sheamus versus Gunther, Rollins versus Riddle, Dominic turning heel, everything was absolutely amazing. And I'm very, very intrigued to see what Triple H has in store for us for the remainder of the year. And with that, we are all out of time. Mark, thank you so much for joining us on episode 2. But don't you go anywhere, because coming up on Thursday, yes, that is tomorrow, we will be covering another series of our top 3 matches. But this time, we will be covering the other show that happened this weekend. And that is, you guessed it, on Mark's shirt, AEW All Out. And we will also cover the long anticipated return of MJF, Maxwell Jacob Freeman. So until next time, I'm Matt Fiscioni. He is Mark Bassler. We will see you all tomorrow for the AEW All Out coverage. See you next time.